Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Dude, I Love That. I'm Liv, and today we are talking about when people are no longer in your life because either maybe you're in high school and you're getting ready to go to college, and so you're just parting ways because of distance or just different life paths, or the juicier one, when you lose people in your life because of decisions they've made and you can no longer be friends. If you're dating somebody, then you can no longer be in a relationship with them, or maybe it's family and you just, they're toxic. You know, what's interesting about that is I was just talking to my mom the other day about the genesis of Friendsgiving. And granted, a lot of it is like college students that can't get home for Thanksgiving, so they end up just hanging out with friends. But I know in the last 2 years, we've seen a big jump in Friendsgiving because of just what's been happening in the world and people not being able to go to their family Thanksgivings or whatever it is. And so sometimes it's just easier to have to separate yourself from them because they're toxic. And it's not to say that I've solved it. It's not to say that I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so good. I want to share what I've learned because maybe it'll make your process shorter or maybe it'll help you avoid it altogether. And so that would be amazing. And the whole thing with like losing people in your life that are supposed to either be there for you, whether it's like a best friend, that one's really tough. I've been through that one too. And actually, I've been through it a couple times. And if you're going through that, I feel you and it sucks so badly. But I promise you, once you're past it, you're like, who was that? Oh, that loser over there. Okay, fine. And you're just like not even going to care about them. But when it's more than that, or when it's maybe it's more unexpected, that's a real kicker. That's unfortunate. If you know that something's coming that might end up happening and it's like a good possibility, you have a little bit of like a smoother entry. But if it's a situation like I've had in my past where it's like boom out of the blue, I'll give you another situation that is not so recent. There was somebody that I was in business with, you could say, and they rolled up one day and just told me that like that's it. And they more or less tried to call me unstable, and I'm like, have you met yourself right now? Like, you sound nuts. Like, this is, you have come up with the sea story. It's a sea shanty and you've just like projected it onto me as if it's reality. I'm like, you need to reel that back, son. Like, that is ridiculous. So anyway, oh, and it was in public too. Did I mention that? Oh my god, it was so out of the blue. I swear to you, it was literally left field. You know, there's a thing even as I'm going through my course right now, because side note, I am about to be a certified Enneagram life coach. I'm so freaking excited. And if you saw my post on my personal public Instagram account, that's bizarre. Anyways, if you saw my post on there, I am launching my coaching business, which I'm super stoked about. And I've just been learning so much information in this course that I've been taking. Shout out Krista, she's amazing. And one of the things we've been talking about is how we tell ourselves stories and how we can start like adding information to certain events in our life, and it ends up making it worse for us because we've just like spun ourselves a web, and now we're like viewing everything through that, and it's probably not even true. I feel like 90% of the time it's like you took yourself on a roller coaster ride and you need to chill out. But see, there's things like that where it's like you can't prep for it, and then I reeled for like a week or two of just like what happened and why, and I was so angry and so frustrated. And if you have been through that, or if you're going through that, I am so sorry, because there's like no quick fix for that. You just got to go through the motions for a bit and then be like, okay, I can sort it out. Anyways, if you're going through that, I just want you to know there are going to be people that simply cannot come on the next part of your journey. I hate saying the word journey. It sounds so stupid, but you know what I'm saying? There are just some people that it's like they can't come with you on this next trip. Either you guys are going in two completely different directions, or it's not healthy to continue on with them. Because like, think about this. If you're backpacking and you're going up some kind of mountain or whatever, you can tell I've never been backpacking by the way I'm describing this, but if you're going up a steep incline and you're having to like lug somebody behind you plus your own stuff, because we all have our own baggage, okay? We all have our own stuff going on, and to have to take that and somebody else is way too much for one person to carry typically. And there are times, like, especially, I will say, if you're in a marriage, that's part of the deal. Like, you are vowing to take that person with you as far as you can go, you know? But if like it's a friendship or a coworker or family that isn't your spouse, you're not obligated to lug their crap up this hill with you. Do not feel indebted or obligated to take these people or this person or whatever it is with you on this next part of your journey, because if you've been that person, you know it's tiring, and you can't be all that you've been called to be and live out your purpose if you are constantly lugging around crap that isn't yours. And I hope that sinks in for you, because I know so many times in life you don't feel the permission to let stuff go if you are very loyal. And, you know, I like to loop in the Enneagram. So I'm a 6, and it's literally called the loyalist for a reason. And even in that last episode that I did, you know, I talked about how when I was younger, I could tend to be a little bit of a doormat, or not maybe so much a doormat. This is exactly the conversation I had last time. Not so much a doormat, but I was more prone to people pleasing because I really wanted people in my life, and I felt like I wouldn't be able to have them in my life if I didn't people please and like morph to whatever they wanted. And where was I going with this? Oh yeah, if you're loyal, if you're really loyal, it's easier to kind of feel the need to take on stuff that isn't yours for a longer period of time than necessary, because you don't want to let that person down, or you want to be there for them. And maybe you truly are like, I want to pour into them and I want them to have somebody, but sometimes they have to help themselves, and it just is what it is. And we've all got our own stuff going on, and you don't need to take on more than what is yours to take on. And I feel like there's a quote about that. I mean, there obviously is. I feel like I'm seeing some sort of like 2010 Tumblr post in my head when I said that, but you know, whatever. It's probably more Pinterest now, if I'm going to be honest, but that's besides the point. I really feel like the biggest thing you can do for yourself is, you know, like on social media, specifically Instagram, but you can mute people. Life changer. I'm telling you, it's a life changer. Sometimes we need to mute people in real life too. And if you can't create distance between you and that person or those people, then sometimes you just have to cut them off. And it's not bad or wrong to do that if it's costing you more than you're getting from that relationship. And oh my gosh, if you haven't listened to the episode called uh this friendship advice changed my life, I think it's called, you have to, because there's a quote in there, and I talk about who did the quote because it's very convoluted, or who said the quote. It's convoluted and it's too much time to explain here. But long story short, this quote said, "What does this person do for you that a hamster wouldn't?" Literally jaw dropped, white card waving, so good. And sometimes you just have to distill it down to that, because if you let your emotions get too much in the way, you're never going to let that thing go, because you're going to feel those things like indebted and obligated and whatever. But if you distill it down to, is this person adding more than they're taking from me? And if they aren't, then maybe it's time to reevaluate or totally cut them off. It's not bad to do that. Like, you're really not a bad person to cut people off. And frankly, we need to do it more, because we've gotten too used to letting people infiltrate our minds and our lives because of social media, and we keep following people for way too long. And it's like, no, bye-bye, too long. Good riddance. And sometimes you just have to do that in real life, and it might suck and it might feel uncomfortable, but you can do it. And I promise you, you're going to have so much more freedom to do the things that you've been created to do when you're not lugging around people and their crap for too long. Okay. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed. I hope it blessed you and encouraged you in whatever you're going through. And if you need any friendship, relationship, family advice, the DMs are always open. You can find me there at Dude I Love That Podcast. Bye.